Hi everyone. Today I'm going to tell you a beautiful short story from Kshetra Purana. Okay, I read it from wordpress.com. I loved it, so I thought I should share this story with all of you. Anyway, the name of the story is Thirukkonamalai the Shakthi Peethas. So, what are these Shakti Peethas? Let me briefly say first about this, then I'll come to this point. You know, uh, in Tretaya, actually, Sati just killed herself in her father Daksha Prajapati's Yajna Kund. When Lord Mahadev got this news, he became furious and he began to dance violently, that too holding the dead body of Sati. As he began this dance, it was so terrible that it seemed as if Mahapralaya will occur. So all the Devas, Jakshas, Kinnaras and the living creatures, they all were terrified and they requested Lord Vishnu to help them. Ultimately, Lord Vishnu asked Sudarsana Chakra to cut off the body of Sati and throw it to different places on this earth. Sudarsana Chakra immediately carried out the order and cut off the body of Sati and threw it, body parts, all the different places. Lord Vishnu did this because he knew that as long as the body is with Shiva, Shiva will, he can't control himself. After that, truly Lord Shiva calmed down. Anyways, so the body parts, wherever it fell, that was known as the Shakti Peeth. And that place was, the temples were built on that particular places and people worship the Devi. Anyways, once in Tretaya Yuga, Mata Parvati was suddenly hit with strong desire. She wished a mansion, a beautiful palace. So she came to Lord Shiva and said, Swami, I want a palace, a beautiful house where we all can live happily and my children will play with the yogins. Like this she wanted. As she said this, Lord Shiva reminded her, have you forgotten the first request and the repercussion? So, however, she demanded it, so Lord Shiva agreed. Ultimately, Lord Shiva called the Devalok architect, that is Vishwakarma, and Vishwakarma searched for a proper spot where to build. And at last he found an island of Lanka, and there he built a mansion. That mansion was beyond comparison. Nobody can believe that the beauty of that palace. It was completely filled with the precious gemstones and all these things. With that palace, also beautiful garden and costly flowers, everything was there. Now looking at that, the carving, the woodwork, the park, the flowers, looking at all these things, Mata Parvati and Shiva, they both became extremely happy. Now, immediately, Parvati thought that the palace, I got it. Now I have to think about the Griha Pravesh. So we have to find out the best of the Brahmins who can do this Griha Pravesh ritual. Thus they were searching for the Brahmin, that and suddenly they heard a chanting Om Namah Shivaya. So both of them went to that, following that sound, they reached at one spot. There Lord Shiva saw that the 10-headed man Ravana was chanting the mantra. Shiva smiled and said, O Ravana, I got it. Now, for what purpose you are doing your hard tapasya, everything will be fulfilled. Now, come, get up. Now, looking at Ravana, Mata Parvati thought that, I know that Ravana was expert in Vedas and Vedangas, and absolutely, perfectly he is doing this mantra slokas. So, let me call him for the doing my Griha Pravesh ritual. Thus, Ravana was invited and he also became very happy because the divine couple are calling him. So, he performed the proper date, auspicious date. He performed the griha previous rituals, and both the divine couple, they stepped inside. Now looking at the palace and the pronunciation, the chanting of proper usage of slokas and mantras, Mata Parvati was so happy that she immediately said, "Ki, "O Ravana, I want to give you a boon." Now by that time, Ravana was also very much in love with that palace. And immediately when he heard that Adya Shakti is offering him a boon, he thought of his boon instantly, and he said, "Oh Mata, oh Adya Shakti, if you are pleased, then give me this house as the Dakshina." Now Mata Parvati and Lord Mahadev smiled, and Mata Parvati thought, "Look at the game of the fate. I made it for me, and I have to give it to Ravana because of his Dakshina." And Lord Shiva smiled, "See, wherever the Dakshina is given, it is Jajamana and Jajamani who are supposed to give the Dakshina as they wish, not the Brahmin will ask. But in this case, Mata Parvati is offering Dakshina to the Brahmin, Ravana." Anyways, Ravana was the son of great Rishi Vishrava. So he was also a great Brahmin. Anyway, thus Ravana asked the boon, but at the same time, he felt guilty. He thought that he robbed of Parvati of her house. So immediately he said, "Ki, oh Mata, oh Adya Shakti, be pleased to stay here forever in Lanka and bless me." Then Mata Parvati said, "Ki, oh Ravana, well, I will pervade your place all the time, but in one condition. Remember, the day you will not obey my command, I will leave your kingdom." Ravana agreed to that, and then he lived happily with all his people. Also, they became happy, and Lanka became prosperous and wealthy. However, the misfortune began when Ravana brought Sita to Lanka and wished to marry her. That time Mata Parvati requested him to return her to Lord Rama, but Ravana didn't obey because he was already crippled by greed and lust. That killed him. Thus, the Rama Ravana war and Mata Parvati got angry, and she left with all the prosper and the wealth. Lanka became once again as usual before. Means without wealth and without prosper. However, now Ravana built a that Ravana war was there, and Ravana was killed by Rama. However, Ravana built a beautiful temple of Sankari Devi, and that temple was made on the top of a cliff. And it is believed that the grain part of Mata Parvati was, it is said that to have fallen there, on that very spot where the Sankari temple was made. Anyways, but unfortunately that temple is no more on that cliff. It is only a pillar is there. How that was in the Thirukkonamalai. Now I'll tell you how this Thirukkonamalai came to existence. When Paramatma built this universe was born, that day Paramatma gave different words to different gods with their some powers. Now Sesadev was supposed to uphold the earth steadily till to the next Mahapralaya. But Vayu got very angry, he was very jealous of him, and he immediately began to fight with Sesadev. As he said, Sesadev said, "Ki, oh Vayu, why you are fighting with me? I am stronger than you. And if you are stronger than me, then try to blow off these three peak of this Kailas mountain. And by that time, Sesadav coiled around this Kailas Parvat mountain. Now, Lord Mahadev said ki, "Oh Sesadev, just look, this is also my another game." And as he said this, Sesadev, out of 1,000 hoods, 3 hoods he raised and looked at to listen to Mahadev. At that very moment, Vayu struck it so hard that the 3 peak of that Kailas mountain blew away, and it fell in 3 different places. One is Thirukkonamalai. I'm sorry if it is wrong. Then second one is Tiruchirappalli, and third one was in Lanka, which was later known as Thirukkonamalai. And in this Thirukkonamalai, Sankari Devi temple, Ravana built it. Anyways, God, sometimes, whatever God wants, there is no doubt that it will happen. Anyways, once again I said this one because how this Thirukkonamalai came to existence. That is written so well in that, I don't remember the author's name, but that article was a beautiful one. So I thought that I must share it with all of you. And different Adi Peethas are also there in different places of India. But Adi Yogi Shankaracharya considered this Sankara Devi temple as the first one. Anyways, thank you so much. Once again I will meet you with some other story. Thank you.